I'd like to introduce the Acting Executive Director of U.S. Vets here in Riverside, and this is Larry Williams. Hi, Larry.
How are you, Cheryl?
Fine, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me which branch of the service you served in?
Army.
Okay, I'm also an Army vet.
Thank you for
Go
serving.
Army. You bet. You too.
Thank you.
So can you tell me a little bit about how you got to U.S. Vets and how you ended up as the Executive Director or Acting Executive Director?
Acting. Well, in 2003, actually, I was a client at U.S. Vets.
Now that's the story I want you to tell me. How did you become a client at U.S. Vets? What happened to you?
Well, I was homeless
Okay.
and had some issues, some coping skill issues.
PTSD?
No.
Okay.
I was a non-combat veteran from 1985 to 89, yet still found myself dealing with some stuff, and U.S. Vets was there, and I was referred to U.S. Vets from an AmeriCorps member. And that's my introduction, not just to U.S. Vets, but also to AmeriCorps.
Let's talk a little bit about what AmeriCorps is. Can you tell me?
Sure. AmeriCorps is a national volunteer program. It's equivalent to the Peace Corps, but it's in country. And AmeriCorps members, I think, do 1,700 hours of volunteerism, and they get a small living stipend, and then college money afterwards once they complete their term of service.
So going from being a client and transitioning into being a staff member, what did you transition into, like a residential assistant type of position, or what kind of job did you transition into?
No, I wanted to do outreach.
Okay.
Outreach was...
So you actually went out in the field
yes, ma'am.
and got veterans to come in. So you would go and find out where the homeless veteran encampments were under the bridges or highways or wherever, and say,
Yeah.
hey, you guys, do you really want to live like this for the rest of your life?
For the most part, that's what we did for 10 months. Me and my outreach team, we outreached to over 1,000 veterans that year. And we would go into, like you said, to the bridges, the encampments, the shelters, wherever, the highways. I was in Las Vegas at the time, so I mean, in the deserts, veterans can sort of seclude themselves from the rest of the community very easily. They camouflage themselves very easily, so we had to go in, and we did a good job. After that, I became a staff member, and was hired on as the Veteran Services Manager at that time. Now the title has changed to Veteran Services Coordinator.
It takes hard work. And when you realize that you have a problem, whatever the issues are, and you overcome that problem, that's when the true recovery happens. That's when you redeem yourself. That's when, whatever issues, we've all had issues in our lives. At one point, I was a homeless veteran living in my car in Hollywood when I first moved down there.
I researched you, yes.
Oh yeah, so it's like, okay, and where I was very lucky is that I ended up with a career with the state, and I became a vet rep, and that's really how I found myself, was truly living a life in service to others. And that's what you're doing. And that's what every staff member that I've met here since I've been here, they've all said the same thing. I get more out of helping them.
Oh, absolutely. There's an obligation now to help those who were just like me, right? There is no greater service than one veteran helping another. I just happen to have the opportunity to be of service through U.S. Vets, which I got to put the focus back on them, because when I was at U.S. Vets, I didn't really have any direction on which way to go. Here I was basically starting life all over again, separated from family, no education, trying to figure out what I'm going to do for a job, a career, just trying to be a better person. And at the time, I didn't understand the structure, nor even the program requirements. I just trusted. And I remember thinking, why am I going to all these classes? Oh my God, class after class, all this information. And I remember there was one class in particular that I just tried my best to get out of. Thank God my case manager wouldn't let me. And it was the parenting class. And I fought him tooth and nail. He's still with U.S. Vets. And his name is Willis Derby. He says, you want a new way of life? Well, let's attack this from all angles. Not just your homelessness, but let's look at your education. Let's look at family reunification, right? Let's look at how you present yourself. Let's look at your dreams. I didn't even know that that this particular class would come in handy until I reunited with my family. And once I reunited with my family and my children and our relationship was starting over. All those skills that I learned in that class, I had to put to use. They really did inspire me to want to do something a little bit different, be better. And our mission statement says that. I mean, when you look at what we do as an organization, sure, we provide housing, we provide career development, we provide comprehensive support. But if you take all that and put it in layman's terms, what do we want for our clients? We want them to be better. We want them to have the best life that they could possibly have, one, so that they never have to return to homelessness again. And on top of that, life becomes more enjoyable. Now they are working in the fields of their choice. Their goals have become reignited. They're with their families. They're the person maybe they were once before, maybe even better, right? We instill pride, self-esteem. It's almost majestic to watch the transformation take place when you look at a veteran coming through U.S. Vets. From point of entry, right? Outreach encounters them. The guy is homeless, him or her, and they come into the program, and they kind of look like they've just been through a war, and they have been, because homelessness in itself, it's a war, right? And so when they come through, and then you watch them slowly as their self-esteem increases, and they start to look you in the eye instead of looking down, and they start to dress differently, they start to talk differently, they start to talk about the future.
Instead of just living in the present.
Yes, instead of just surviving, now we're going to talk about living, right? The whole workforce program helps them to get employment, but just not any type of employment. It may be transitional, but at the end, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? What's your goal? What's your critical path? If you're a veteran and you're homeless, or you are on the verge of becoming homeless, U.S. Vets can assist. Either it be you as a single veteran or your family. Please give us a call. We are here for any veteran that needs assistance.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.